Hi everyone, Eluize here for Ransom Note and Arturia. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to my little studio shed in Adelaide. I am here today to show you a little bit around one of my sessions and give you an idea of how I use the amazing V collection to get sounds going and to come up with ideas, and also my amazing BeatStep Pro, which I love for getting sequences going, for getting bass lines and things in a way that is quick to come up with ideas, and then it works really well to play them in a live setting. So this is great for live and also for the studio if you don't want too many like complicated keys and stuff, and you're more into sequencing. I love sequencing on hardware. I find it works much better for me than sequencing, drawing in MIDI notes. I don't know why, just habit, I guess. So if that's the sort of thing you're into, this is for you. I'm going to jump into a session in a sec. I've just been here this afternoon making some drums to get us going, because I really wanted to focus on melodies and melody creation and bass lines and maybe some pads and stuff with you, because that's where I think this really shines, especially in my workflow. So if we jump into the session, we don't need those at the moment. We've just got some percussion, toms, low toms, and a kick. Have a listen. So quite a straightforward thing, bit of a broken beat. Kick's pretty, it's a little bit compressed, give it a bit more volume. The tom is like just a nice subby tom. You'll see that's got a frequency split sidechain on it. That's something I do often when things are subby. Percussion I haven't done much with yet. I've just sort of chucked things on. I don't even have a compressor on that yet. And just a little limiter on the master bus. Bring the volume up so that when I need to send that off to mastering, I just can turn that off. And a little reference track. Let's turn this down a little bit. Okay, so that's that. I mean, it's not in any way arranged. We've just got a bit of a loop going. 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. So let's put on let's maybe look for some low mid, like a bit of a bass line, or we could do melody or bass line, I don't know. See, this is where we go on. So there's going to need to be a melody for me, or a couple of melodies and a bass line, maybe some pads or some strings, and then I'll probably add a vocal. I haven't thought about what this is going to be about. I've called it RNA because Ransom Note Arturia, and then I was thinking about RNA like in the body, and I thought maybe I would look up a bit of science about that and think of some vocals that spring to mind. That's kind of what I usually do. Don't need those notes right now. Cool. So the best way to go about this, I think, where are we? Plugins. So if we drop down into Arturia, you can see I've got a million amazing things. Well, not a million, but a lot of really awesome plugs. I have had the V collection since version 3, and I just love it. And I've always loved the Analog Lab. There are, of course, some favorite instruments, but the lab actually helps you can search through all the different instruments by like sound type, and by, styles. So, and then if you want, you can open the instrument and play with the details. So I'm going to close that down. Types. So what should we do first? Should we do a bass line or a pad? Let's do a pad. Let's try atmosphere. So yeah, this is going to be trial and error. I'll play with it for a bit with you there, and then we might skip through. Let's choose one. So basically, I always just go through and have a listen to what I like. I haven't been through pads for ages. I also mark what I like as I go through. That's quite cool. I like that. I'm on a G naturally, so I guess that is in key with the drums. It's a bit loud. Turn it down a bit. So let's record a bit of this into the sequencer. Okay, now this sequence is only 16 long, so we can make the last step here, 32. So there we go. Now that's going to be okay, nice pad. Okay, another MIDI channel. Need to leave that on in. Yeah. And I want that, the channel of that one, as you can see here, the green is channel 3. So we're going to leave that on just channel 3. There we go. And now this new one, I'm going to use the second sequencer. Actually, let's just save that as well. Put on 3. There we go. So you can see it's all saving actually in the hardware controller. This is just connected to my system by MIDI. You can connect it with your computer by USB, but I'm short USB ports, and also I like to have it flowing MIDI independently. So the input and output of the MIDI are going into my Fireface and into my computer. And then I've got the other output of the MIDI in the Fireface heading out to a Kenton through 5, which splits the MIDI and sends it to hardware. So we can send it out to the baseboard or to the Blofeld or the drums or whatever. But for now, let's get going on a bit of a melody. Okay, MIDI, let's chuck the analog lab on again. And then I'm sure I'm going to want some acid, because I always do. Styles. Acid. Show results. There's so many. As you can see, a lot of these have sequences already in them, and we can edit those sequences when we go in. Just put some notes on so this plays automatically. We can just do it here. And then we can change the pitch. Let's just we used that to change to repitch the whole sequence, and then if we want to repitch the individual ones, we can use their the encoder here. G sharp sounds nice with it. Number 7. Quite cool. I want it to have less reverb and delay. I want it to be a little bit shorter. quite cool. Just a little glitch. It's the train going past. So if I want to make that hit a little bit less, have a lower velocity, I can choose velocity here, and then the second one. And then the gate, I can actually tie the 1 over or slide it. And the 2, I'm also going to do. And maybe I will change the pitch of that. So use the knobs to change the pitch. I like that as a film, so let's turn it down a bit. So might want more of a continuous melody line. Let's drop another lab on there and see what we can find. Still want something a bit gnarly and sort of in that low range. This time, that actually sounded good. There's a total fluke. What's that doing? It's taking in both signals. It's on kind of a road sound, but maybe not that. Let's go for lo-fi. And I've got some of these that I like already. Let's see, maybe this one. Pretty creepy. Not for now. As you can see, we'll just I love a bit of harp. It's too long, so if we open the actual thing, let's see. Take the sustain down a bit. Add some delay. It's quite cool. That'll do for now. It's just nice to have like all these layers building on each other. I'm gonna have to name these tracks soon so I don't get lost. I'm gonna chuck another lab on. Honestly, I like that accidental piano more, so I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to call it that. And this one, that can stay. Maybe they'll be nice layered. So many layers of the collection, and it's amazing that it's still like really not that CPU hungry. On mine I'm running an M1, so it's got quite good energy resources, or like thinking resources, but I'm also running two different recording software to get my screen and get the audio and get the video in, so and the video from the phone. So yeah, it's doing pretty well for like 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm gonna go one more just to try it. I'm probably gonna crash it now because I've said it out loud, but this time I want like some kind of like bass thing happening, and I want something with a sequence arpeggiated. Let's do arpeggiated. And I still do want like, I want a bass-ish sound. Let's just try them and have a little look. But I don't want this one to be getting information from here. I want to use the information in the arpeggiator in the thing. So I'm just using my keyboard now to get a note in. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Oh, yeah. Where are we? Computer keyboard. That's what I want. I do want an octave thing, but I think that's not coming. That could be good. Let's have a listen. Maybe it's too busy. Let's see. Too much. Too many delays. Let's see. I want to just record some MIDI here. Just so I don't have to keep doing my pushing my keyboard. Just you to like get that happening, get that quantized, and I'm going to loop it, and we're just going to make it 3. Why not? Shouldn't matter anyway. Might be slightly different. Sound's not working for me. Let's go on to the next one. Let's get these on the kick's not on the We want one that is in sync. I think that is also an option. Synced. There we go. We can also go in and sync things ourselves if we find one that we like. Oh, I love this, and I love this soft synth as well, so let's have a look in here. Reminds me, of course, of my Juno 106. And here you can go into advanced. And play around with extra settings. Let's give it some more notes to play with. holding Option. Quite cool. Shorten the release. Let's solo at the C. Might be too full. Where is it? This is the sort of thing that's amazing to automate. Whoosh. Maybe that's better because it's not quite so full. Okay, cool. And I would give that I would sidechain this to the kick as well. I'm gonna bring that down to the bottom with my low sounds. I'm actually gonna group these together. Move this, hello, frequency split sidechain onto there. So nice. I'm going to have a high pass filter on it, I think. Maybe, let's see. I normally put one of these on my master to check my bass isn't getting muddy. I think that's a bit muddy, that's better. Yeah. Bit of French. And that's it. Here we've actually recorded in the MIDI from this, which is another great thing you can do. I save each one in the actual sequencer and I make a note of it so that I can come back to it. But if you want to have it in the session as well, in case you've got your computer on the plane or something and you're away from your hardware, you can keep working. Yeah. Well, I'm really into that. So I'm going to go away and organize it a bit and start to arrange it, and I'll come back to you when I'm ready for the next bit. Hi everyone, so we're back. I've had a bit of time to work on this and I'm really, really pumped with how it's sounding. I think it's very cool. I haven't done any vocals yet. I haven't done a mix down and effects not quite yet, but what I wanted to do now was really show you. So this is where, for me, Arturia has been pivotal in my production for years. I think maybe close to a decade since I had the first version that I had of the V collection, which was like number 3, I think. Just the creativity and inspiration that comes from working with so many awesome synthesizers. I've gone really wild on here. I don't think I've ever used this many instances of it. I've used 10. And that varies from synthesizers, soft synths modeled on classic analog Junos to FM synthesizers to wavetable style or wave-based digital synthesizers. And I'll have a quick click through and show you. And I'm also going to add up, just for fun, after this, how much all of these hardware synthesizers would have cost me if I was going to try and add them to my studio. And I can tell you it's going to be way, way out of my budget. So it's just such a privilege to work with them. The other thing that I noticed when I went back through the earlier recording is maybe this isn't like a tutorial, so I'm not going too deeply into what I'm doing with each of the synthesizers, but basically I love to go through presets and then I always edit them. So I get a starting point. I think of a sound that I want because I've done some work with synthesizers. I can create sounds, but for me, starting with a sound made by someone whose like complete passion and skill set is sound design in that particular type of instrument, and then just tweaking it to where I need it to be to like encapsulate whatever feeling I'm going for. That's the best way rather than starting from scratch. That's a train going by. Cool. So for what I'm doing, it's generally, if you're curious, I normally tweak things that are quite, not simple, but the early things that you would learn if you were learning about synthesis, the ADSR envelope, attack, decay, sustain, release envelope. And that changes how quickly and heavily the impact at the start of the sound is, how long it takes for it to roll off and then to let go. So if you're looking to learn more about that sort of thing, ADSR is what you should Google. And then, depending on the synthesizer, you can change the different oscillators or the different waveforms that are creating the sound. But yeah, I'll let you dive in and do some research about that, or you can hit me up, come at me in comments or on socials or something, and we can look at that another time. So I'm going to take you through what I've got in the session and show you where we're at, and then I think that really is going to give you an example of just how wonderful these soft synths are. Thank you, Arturia. And I haven't even I didn't even dive into the effects yet, so that's like crazy. So this is where we are at. So you can probably hear that a lot of what we did in the last session, that's the fundamental part of the track. Very like hypnotic. So the bass, I've got this sound here, which was on a classic, open the preset, Juno 6. That kind of like, I don't know, glittery bass sound, I guess. It's just really more of a rhythm. And then I've got this new one that comes in here, which I think we worked on together. This is a ARP 2600 modeled on that. That's like thousands and thousands and thousands if you wanted to pick one of these up in the hardware form. And here you can see the ADSR envelope that we talked about, which will change how it acts. I think I tweaked that a little bit, had a bit of a play around. So that's just like a B part kind of bass. So what have we got? We've got 1, 2 now. The basses are modeled on analog synthesizers. Then, not
go into percussion. These are the lines that we wrote on the BeatStep Pro. And I've doubled it up. This is quite like an airy sound for me. This is called Acid Rain. This is on the SQ80V. And this is one of the ones with the different waves that the sounds are based on. Rather than an oscillator making the original sound, these have got different waves. And you can jump through these. I'm not going to go too far so I don't change mine. You can see they just change the essence of the sound. Okay, I've lost where I was, but we'll just leave that alone. And now this one is a more like classic piano sound, and I love using sort of piano and organ type sounds in my production. This is based on an analog. This is a CS80V. Again, there's tons of parameters you can tweak here. I did a few bits and bobs, but nothing too massive on that. And then this is new. Again, this is like my love for eerie piano coming through. And this I actually played on my Keylab. So aside from the BeatStep Pro, I have a keyboard, MIDI controller from Arturia that I actually had inside because I was doing this on at home when inspiration struck, rather than having it in the studio all the time. It's nice to have that flexibility to go and sit on the sofa with a USB connection and have all these synths available to you. So that's a bit of a melodic feature. Another thing I added were these voices, which is so awesome. This is something new in this collection. I haven't had a play with the Emulator V very much. This is a digital synthesizer. And what you can see here is they've actually got two layered strings and a voices. So you can edit how much of each is in there, which I've actually done. I took this bit of the strings out, but left them in there for like kind of a resonance support. But they were a bit louder in the original preset. You can play around with these pedals here. There's just, the mind boggles with how many different things you can do. So I've played in that, a bit of a support line. And then this, I think, was the original idea, the original synth idea that we had. So, put it all together. I find just like some pads and things are really nice to like support the melodies and add a bit of atmosphere. And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at, and I want to say now a huge thanks to Arturia and Ransom Note for having me work on this project. I actually didn't realize how crucial, like just how intensely I use these soft synths and this hardware, especially when I'm away from my full studio or on the road. It's just such a great way to be inspired and have options and ideas and let things sort of flow quickly. One thing I do want to highlight again is just how amazing the Analog Lab is. I use this a lot, especially now that there's so many different soft synths available in the V collection. I don't know how all of them work. I love reading manuals, but I'm not that deep into my vintage synthesizers that I know all of them. So to be able to search for a type of sound or a style, I actually use this styles tab constantly, especially styles and characteristics. I'm really, really into that to be able to sort of narrow down what I want to have expressed in the timbre of the sound. So yeah, go in there, explore, have fun. It's just amazing. It just opens up so many options, and I am going to go and work on this a bit more, maybe add a vocal, put some effects on and polish it up, and hopefully you'll be able to hear it in its final version in your headphones or in a club soon. Have an awesome day or night wherever you are, and have fun doing music, and I'll see you soon.